You will be paid about 15 crores a year to guard this lighthouse. I really want to get the job. There are also endless facilities like there will be no boss here. You can sleep completely alone. You can fish. You can do whatever you want. Your only job will be to see if the light of this lighthouse is burning properly. If it ever goes off, you will turn it on again. That's all. You don't have to do anything else. You will just sleep with your legs up all day. But the funny thing is that despite all these facilities, it is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, because this lighthouse is placed right in the middle of the ocean. While you are here, you will not be able to communicate with anyone. Loneliness will always surround you. What is more dangerous is that there are often big storms here. The violence of those storms is so terrible that sometimes the seawater overflows the tower, and even death can occur in this job. What other great dangers can find their way here? You will know later. Now, maybe after seeing all this, you may have a question in your mind that why was this lighthouse built in the middle of the ocean? What is its function? And why? This lighthouse must always be kept under surveillance. Why can its lights never be turned off? To know the origin of this mysterious lighthouse, we have to go back a few years. At that time, there were no cars, no other vehicles or air routes for transportation, so the only way to travel long distances was by water. At that time, there was an extraordinary sailor named Camped Marius. He was quite famous for being able to cross the sea even in very adverse conditions. Once he was crossing a dark place in the middle of the sea. Just then, his ship hit some rocks under the sea. At that time, ships were made of wood, due to which cracks easily formed under the ship and the water entered and caused a lot of damage. After this accident, Captain Marius started looking for a solution. He wanted to create something that could warn the sailors of the ship in advance to save them from such problems. But here the cause of great concern was the vastness of the Pacific Ocean. Because the Pacific Ocean is so large and vast that if all the 7 continents, even if the land were joined together, the Pacific Ocean would still be larger. Thousands of years ago, when sailors sailed across this vast ocean, they had no idea of what was under the sea, nor even of the road ahead of them. At that time, there was no technology for navigation that could help them find their way. Basically, at that time, sailors had to rely on the sun, or the moon and stars to navigate the ocean. And because of this problem of navigation, 2 or 3 more strange problems would come along the way, as happened to Captain Ellis. Once, Captain Ellis was sailing the Pacific Ocean with his sailors, and one night, a storm suddenly started. The whole sky was covered with black clouds. All the stars in the sky were covered under the clouds. Due to this, they lost their way in the storm. When morning came, they found that they were lost in the vast ocean. They had nothing to eat, no water, no food. The sailors' condition became very bad due to hunger and thirst. They could not even stand in the vast water of the ocean. The lack of water caused thirst, and even many sailors died. After a lot of difficulty, the captain found the shore. After that, the journey to build the lighthouse began. Alexandria was located on the Mediterranean Sea in Egypt. At that time, the ruler there was Ptolemy II Philadelphia. But the biggest problem for this kingdom at that time was their location. If you look at this picture carefully, you will understand that to enter this city, you had to travel through this place, and there were many large rocks around this place. As a result, When the ships that came to trade in this city passed through this road, the ships easily hit the rocks, and as a result, sometimes these ships would sink or suffer major damage. Therefore, due to the decrease in commercial ships in this kingdom day by day, Ptolemy then ran to the most famous architect of that time, Sostus of Cnidus, to save his kingdom, and prayed to him for relief from this problem. The two of them came up with an idea. They would build a fortress on the water whose light would guide ships at sea and also warn them about rocks underwater. They started working on the plan. But even then, they could not imagine that what they were going to do would one day become one of the most famous creations in the world, which would become known as the Lighthouse of Alexandria. The height of the lighthouse in Alexandria was 384 feet. It was made entirely of white marble. At that time, a fire was constantly burning on the top of this lighthouse, for which oil and wood had to be supplied here. This lighthouse was later recognized as one of the 7th wonders of the world. It was not only famous for its height, but also for its extraordinary